Does your relationship bring out the worst in you? Do you lose control of your emotions? I'm going to talk to you about how to control your emotions in a relationship. As a therapist, I have seen people act like total jerks in my office. They've been aggressive toward their partner. I've also seen people really shut down and try to avoid any interaction with their partner. I see couples who go to their emotional mind. They get triggered by their partner and they're constantly emotional in their relationship. In this video, I'm going to give you 5 skills to help you regulate your emotions so that you can be effective in your relationship. All of our emotions are valid. You think about, what is the point of an emotion? Why do we have it? Our emotions are there to protect us. So it's no wonder that with the people closest to us, we have a lot of emotional triggers because there's so much at stake there with those relationships. But when there's a lot at stake, it can trigger us into drama. It can trigger us into our emotional mind where we don't act very effectively and we actually do damage to the relationship. Let's talk about how an emotion works and what happens with an emotion. So usually there's a trigger. Let's say that your spouse gives you a funny look that you don't like. That's the trigger. The look says to you that they're kind of disgusted in something you said or you did. So that trigger leads to a thought. The thought might be, they don't like me. They're disgusted in me. That thought leads to an emotion. Think about the emotions you might feel if you're thinking that. You might feel sad that your partner's feeling that about you. You might feel angry that they're feeling that. Why would they feel that about me if when they do similar things? So you might feel resentful. You might feel angry. You might feel a little bit depressed, but you're going to feel some things once you have that thought. Now, here's where it gets tricky, is emotions fuel thoughts and thoughts fuel emotions. So when you have those emotions, let's say I have the thought, why would you think that about me when you do it yourself? Now I'm feeling some resentment. I'm going to have more thoughts. Oh, I remember the last time you did that. I remember the last time that you acted like a hypocrite. You're such a hypocrite. So now I'm having a bunch of thoughts, feeding more resentment, more emotion. More emotion is being fed, more thoughts are being fed. They're starting to create themselves, perpetuate themselves. And as this starts to happen, eventually it leads to behavior. My thoughts are firing off, my emotions are firing off, and this is where it can lead to things like violence, yelling, screaming, slamming doors, doing things that you normally wouldn't do. But you're so caught up in this that your behaviors start to happen. You're reactionary to your emotional mind. Basic cognitive behavioral therapy says that if you can change your thoughts, you can change your emotions. Now I want to give you an example of this. I was driving down the road and this guy was trying to get past me, but I couldn't get over. There was a semi next to me and I was trying to get over and I was trying to let him pass, but I couldn't. Finally, when the semi was gone, I quickly got over and he went past me. And as he passed me, he flipped me off and gave me a really dirty look. And immediately I had these thoughts of how dare he? I tried everything I could. I had anger. I had feelings of frustration. And it was interesting because my wife, I was sitting in my minivan with my 4 kids. We were actually driving home from Disneyland. And my wife looked at me and said, hang on here. Maybe that guy is rushing to Las Vegas to do surgery on a child and save their life. Now, I thought, well, that's probably not true. And he didn't have to flip me off because he's doing that. But just the fact that she inserted a different thought in at that moment, it diffused my anger and it diffused my frustration. I was no longer ready to race him down and give him a piece of my mind. I was actually contemplating something else. That little insertion of a thought shifted everything for me, and my behavior was different. If you want to learn more about how to have control of your brain and to not let your brain have control of you, then you're going to want to subscribe to my channel because I talk about how to overcome addiction, how to deal with emotions, and how to be more effective in your relationships. There are 5 skills that will help you regulate your emotions so that you can be more effective in your relationship. The first one is awareness. A lot of people are totally unaware of their emotions. They just live their life and things happen. But when you become aware of what emotions are, how they feel, then it helps you to start to grasp them, to start to become mindful of them. So once you're aware of them, the next thing is to acknowledge. An acknowledgement of your emotions starts to shift that emotion from the part of your brain that wants to just react to the part of your brain that can decide how you want to act. So acknowledgement is key. So you say, oh, I'm feeling angry, or I'm feeling frustrated, I'm feeling sad. Whatever you're feeling, but you acknowledge it, you're starting to move that emotion to a different part of your brain, which is really important. There's a space between stimulus and response where you have the power to choose your behaviors. As human beings, we have that space. Animals don't have that space. We do. The way you lengthen that space is through awareness and acknowledgement of what's going on inside of you. The next thing is acceptance. Don't judge your emotions. Now, you might have been taught as a child that you shouldn't feel this or you shouldn't feel that. This emotion's bad, shut that emotion down, don't show that emotion. It's important that you validate yourself. You accept yourself. I'm frustrated. I'm sad. It's okay that I'm sad. I can feel sad. I give myself permission to feel that. I accept that. If you don't accept your emotions, then you'll actually replace one emotion with another. If you're feeling sad and then you feel guilt or shame about feeling sad, then you're still in your emotional mind. Okay, the next thing to do is to assess. And what you're assessing is this. Is this emotion that I'm feeling based in reality? Or is it not based in reality? Is this emotion that I'm feeling coming from a trauma response? Am I acting out of a place of automatic fear because I've experienced something similar in the past? Or what is reality in this moment? If the emotion is based in reality, if it's saying, yes, you're feeling this because you need to protect yourself, then what you want to do with your emotion is you want to assert yourself. Assert yourself in self-care. The emotion might be saying, get out of the situation. If that's what it's saying in reality, then get out of the situation. Now, let me give you an example of when the emotion's not based in reality. Oftentimes, shame is this way. An emotion will say that you're bad, you're unworthy, you're not okay. Run and hide. Well, in that case, the best thing for you to do might to be vulnerable and to stand up and to say, hey, I'm here. So oftentimes our emotions inform us about what's dangerous because of the trauma that we've experienced. For example, when I was young, my dog got hit by a car right in front of me. And so I have a hard time with my children in parking lots. Well, the fact of the matter is my kids probably are not going to get hit by cars in parking lots. So if I'm constantly trying to make sure that they're safe, that won't be good for me. So if I can regulate the emotion, the opposite action for me would be to let it go. Let them be okay. Let them walk through that parking lot by themselves or with their brother or sister. That's opposite action to the emotion. So if it's not based in reality, I'm assessing reality. If it's not based in reality, I do opposite action. This skill of emotion regulation is a skill that takes practice. It's all about mindfulness. It's about awareness. It's about choosing what your behaviors are. So I challenge you to just practice it once or twice this week. Notice when you get emotional, stop yourself and change your behavior. You have the ability inside of you to do this. You can regulate your emotions in your relationship. So when your partner says something to you, when they trigger something, stop for a minute. Stop and think. Get mindful. Do some self-care, and then react to your partner. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you found it useful. If you want more content, more in-depth content that will help your relationship, then check out my relationship reset. You can find it in a link below.